Today, we're breaking down a story about a family secret so dark it was meant to stay buried forever. But, some secrets, they don't stay buried. They have a way of clawing their way back to the surface, especially when they're tangled up in a curse born from a truly horrific crime.
For two cousins, Mayank and Sanket, their family's past was basically a locked door. They were raised in Delhi by their grandfather, and there was just one rule: you never ever ask about the ancestral village. It was this place of tragedy, a source of pain so deep it was supposed to just be erased.
All they were ever told was that their parents died in some kind of mysterious accident out there. Their grandfather would just say the memories were too bitter to talk about. But that word, bitter, it never sat right with Mayank. He always had this nagging feeling that it was just a flimsy cover for something much, much darker.
And anytime the village even came up, this is what he would get. His grandfather, with tears in his eyes, would say this, just pleading with him. A warning that's so extreme, right? It honestly did the exact opposite of what he wanted. For Mayank, it just fueled the obsession. What could possibly make his grandfather that terrified?
And then, the dreams started. As his obsession got stronger, his nights were just stolen. Every single night, it was the same thing. This strange, eerie village filled with these dead, ghostly faces, all of them calling out his name. He became absolutely convinced it wasn't just a dream. It was a message. It was a summons.
So Mayank finally hits his breaking point. He just can't live with the silence and the secrets anymore. He decides he has to find the truth, no matter what it costs his family or, his own safety.
So he actually finds a distant relative who gives him the village's location. He takes off in secret, but somehow his grandfather finds out. And the phone call he gets is just frantic, heartbreaking. Hearing the man who raised you since you were a baby just sobbing, begging you to turn back, it worked. Just a few miles from his destination, Mayank turns around.
But the dreams, they didn't stop. The questions just got louder. So this time, he comes up with a plan he thinks is foolproof. He tells everyone he's going to Dubai for a 20-day business trip. He even fakes the tickets to make it look legit. And with his alibi in place, he secretly heads back toward that village, the place that holds all the answers.
He makes it. He's finally there. He meets a local relative, a cousin uncle, who warns him, don't stay in the family's old abandoned mansion, the Haveli. But Mayank, he's on a mission. He completely ignores the warning. He steps inside, and this is where the real horror begins.
He is barely in the door when he knows he is not alone. First, he hears it, this really distinct metallic sound of anklets, like someone is walking in the next room. Then he hears footsteps running right on the floor above his head. A disgusting, burnt smell starts to fill the air, and this heavy feeling of just being watched, it presses in on him from all sides. He panics, he grabs his bike keys and just bolts from the Haveli. But escaping one nightmare just throws him straight into another. He gets lost on some dark, unfamiliar road, and suddenly this black car with no headlights starts chasing him. In total desperation, he swerves off the road into the jungle and hides behind these old ruins, just praying the car drives by.
And it's here, hiding in these ruins, his heart pounding in the dark, that Mayank is about to stumble upon the horrific truth his grandfather fought so hard to keep buried.
As he's trying to catch his breath, he hears it again, that sound of anklets. But this time, it's mixed with a girl's soft laughter, and it's coming from inside the ruin he's hiding behind. His fear is battling with his desperate need for answers. He has to know who's in there. So he goes in, and he just catches a flash of a white scarf, a dupatta, disappearing up a dark staircase. He follows the sound, thinking maybe this girl can help him, but the room at the top is completely empty, just dust and decay. But then he sees it, an old framed photo of two men who look almost exactly like him and his cousin Sanket. And as he's staring at it, completely frozen, a woman's blood-curdling screams just erupt all around him from inside a room that is totally, utterly empty. Terrified, he runs back to his cousin uncle's house and shoves the photograph in his face. And that's it. The dam of secrets just breaks. The horrifying truth comes pouring out. That ruin wasn't just a ruin. Oh no, it was a crime scene. His father had been having an affair. And when his mother, uncle, and aunt found out, they confronted the mistress in that very building. And together, they beat her to death. And to cover it all up, they set the house on fire, with her body still inside. And just like that, everything clicks into place with this horrible clarity. The curse wasn't some folktale, it was real. That accident that killed his parents, it was no accident. And by coming back to this village, Mayank had just walked right into the path of that same vengeful spirit.
His uncle admitted that years ago, a seer had warned them. The spirit of the murdered woman, now a vengeful ghost known as a Chudile, had put a curse on their entire bloodline. Her promise was terrifyingly simple. She would hunt down and destroy any member of the family who ever dared to set foot in that village again.
After telling him the whole awful story, his cousin uncle made one last desperate plea. He begged Mayank to leave the second the sun came up. He warned him, "The spirit knows you're here now. Your life is in real, immediate danger."
Shaken, just completely broken, Mayank promised he would leave at sunrise. But he never got the chance. The warning came too late. The curse had already claimed him. He died in his sleep that night from a sudden, massive heart attack. He was only 25 years old. Mayank went searching for the truth about his family's past, and in the end, he became its final tragic chapter. His story is just this chilling reminder that maybe some doors really are meant to stay locked, and it leaves us with this really haunting question. Can the sins of one generation create a debt that has to be paid in blood by the next?